Hello, hello, hello. It is Antoinette, the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger, coming to you on Tech Talk Tuesday. That's right, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. we will be talking technology. Do you want to talk about podcasting? Do you want to talk about blogging? Do you want to talk about vlogging? How about Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook? Whatever it is that you want to talk about, I want to talk about it too. I am the boomer who blogs with a millennial mind, and I'm learning each and every day. So here on Tech Talk Tuesday, we're going to talk about technology. And my favorite topic is always going to be your favorite topic. Or should I say, your favorite topic will always be my favorite topic. You know what? You can find and follow me on all my social media platforms. Just use the hashtag Delaware Blogger and I'll pop up all over the place. Again, this is Antoinette from Tech Talk Tuesday podcast. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. Hello, hello, hello. It is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger, coming to you on Tech Talk Tuesday. That's right. This is Tech Talk Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 2, I come to you with some tech tips. And today, actually starting this month, this great month of March, we're going to start with podcasting. All month long, I'm going to be talking about podcasting. Why? Because Podcasting Your Purpose is coming to Smyrna, Delaware. That's right. Podcasting Your Purpose workshop, March 10th from 7 to 9, 2 hours. Filled with information on not only starting your podcast, launching your podcast, scheduling your podcast, using the podcast equipment. It's going to be so much podcasting. It's going to be coming out of your ears. So that's on Tuesday the 10th at 7 p.m. This introductory offer is only $97, and you can register today at Eventbrite. Just use Podcasting Your Purpose workshop tickets to find and register today. So, on Tech Talk Tuesday, this beautiful Tuesday, the first Tuesday of March 2020, we are going to talk about the power of podcasting, right? But the power of podcasting for bloggers, for writers, authors, content creators. Because, you know, there's so much information out there. There's technology and information coming to us 24/7. And how do we stop the scroll? Well, the more your fans and followers know, the more that they'll love you. That's right. Know you, trust you, and like you. There are a lot of ways that you can engage with your fans, and you can turn those fans into long, loyal friends, right? There's free social media platforms out there. They're great. But you know what? You're smarter than that. You want to be more engaged with your target market audience. As a blogger or author or content creator, you take that one step further so that you can connect with your fans by giving them that personal experience. Yes, the personal experience of podcasting. And why is podcasting so powerful? There are so many ways. Talking about powerful podcasts, did you read today that Oprah Winfrey is launching her podcast? That's right, the Oprah Winfrey Show podcast. She has taken episodes from what she's been doing all these years and turning it into a podcast. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You can take your content that is written on your YouTube channel and make it a whole podcast series. Speaking of podcast series, I also read where this professor is getting $50,000, a $50,000 grant to turn her podcast, 5 episodes, into a YouTube channel. What? Yeah, there's a way to earn money with a podcast. So let's get back to the power of podcasting for bloggers, authors, and content creators. You know, when you're podcasting, you can laugh, you can cry, you can tell stories, you can literally touch hearts, change someone's life. I told you that. You know, they're listening to your voice. It's more intimate, especially if you're authentic and you're honest. And again, remember what I said. When you pop those earbuds in your ears or put that headset over your head, you are becoming very intimate. That big sexual organ between the ears is your brain. So you are plugged right into it. It's like you're sitting down with them, having a cup of coffee. It's like one-on-one. You just love it. But you know what? It's not easy breezy. It's not like just take a mic and hit record. Just like with anything else, practice makes perfection. So you got to practice. You got to hone your craft. You got to do what you do, and you got to love what you do. You got to have a passion for that as well. So let's just talk about the six, I had sex on my mind, the 6 different podcast types that help you get started. Of course, content curation. Content curation. If you're a blogger, you know what content curation is. If you're a writer, you know what content curation is. But you know what? Content curation, we're going to talk about that for audio, for podcasting. You, your friends, your family, you have similar interests, right? So there's something that you want to talk about. There's something that you enjoy, sharing. So that's going to get your content, whether it's a TV show or a movie. You can have your podcast talking about that particular movie, that particular television show. For example, are you a big fan of The Walking Dead? Perhaps you love, haves and have nots, Tyler Perry. We're very passionate about it. We're on there, we're tweeting, we're going back and forth. So guess what? Why not create a weekly podcast based on the television episodes? That's right. You are sharing the information. You're discussing the events. And you know what? You can talk about the future, your likes, your dislikes, and you are creating a bond with those that are coming to find your podcast. Because they do the talking dead, and then they do the talking dead after The Walking Dead, right? So talk about it. You can do the same thing. And remember, it doesn't have to be just one topic. It doesn't always have to be one topic. Trending topics are unique. There's always something, the fear of missing out, FOMO. Everybody's into FOMO. So you can veer, just because you're talking about The Walking Dead all week long doesn't mean you can't talk about something else. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. But remember, you're connecting with your target market audience. You're curating content, not creating. You're curating content that's always out there. And it's not just limited to books and TV shows. You can talk about whatever you want to, but as long as you know that it's something that you're passionate about, something that you can come to each week to talk about, because people are going to start to follow you, find you, share you, and support you. So that's what you want to do when it comes to content curation in your podcast. Now, as a blogger or an author, you already have content. You know your niche. So why not reach out to other bloggers, other authors? Check and see if they would be interested in being interviewed on your podcast. For example, I just got a request to be on a podcast where we talk about books on stage. Remember, taking it from the page to the stage. So you can reach out to other bloggers. You can reach out to other authors and ask them to be on your podcast. Now, of course, we'd love to go with the big wigs, the big people, but it doesn't have to be someone famous. You can check their audience. If there's someone out there, go to them. If they have a media kit, check their media kit, see how you can work with them, and you can interview them on your podcast. And I tell you what, sooner or later, more later than sooner, perhaps, you'll get people coming to you. And I tell you, using the hashtag podcast, using the hashtag podcast host on LinkedIn, podcast life on LinkedIn, this is where people are going to start to come and find you. And make sure you're promoting your podcast episodes. It's never just one and done. You could have created a podcast 3 years ago. Doesn't mean that you can't promote it today. So invite guests, find those guests that are similar to what you discuss. And that way you're expanding your audience. And you know what? Find out what they're most interested in as well. So that would be good. Again, go through the proper channels. Check out their media kit. Find them on social media. Find and follow them. Comment on something. Maybe it's a big author out there that you want to, get on your radar. Find and follow them. Start leaving them comments. Let them know that you're out there and that you're interested in their brand, so that when you do contact them, they'll have known that you're you're already following them, and they'll be more than glad to respond and appear on your podcast. Another great way to make your podcast powerful is just sharing your own content from your blog or your book, because you already know you've got followers, right? Now you can turn your blog posts and your book into podcast segments. So my book, Basic Blogging Tips for Beginners, I could literally go and start a podcast on that, which I may, and expound on it. Not only to give you ideas on those basic blogging tips for beginners, but to also promote my book. Yep, monetization. There you go. Get a podcast, create a podcast that discusses your work, whether it's your blog or your book. So you're putting out posts every week. Why not put out a podcast about a particular post? And then you may have sponsors. You may have affiliate links. You can monetize your podcast that way as well. But be careful when you're doing this, because you don't want it always to be about you. You know, it's not always me, 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 me. It's got to be about others. So make sure that it's something that your audience is looking for, something that is relevant, something that people want to hear about, because you're the writer, you're the blogger. But make sure that you are promoting the posts and the content that are of interest to your readers. And think about this. You know how books and blogs are turned into movies? You can think about doing it that way as well. So if you have a book, it's like a mystery, you can turn it into a mini TV series on YouTube as well. So there's a lots of ways to take your own content as well. So you create content, you can curate content, and it's always changing. Life is always changing. There's always going to be something else. And we started talking about monetizing, right? So if one of your goals is to earn money and you have a product to sell or software to share, you're going to want to promote that on your podcast, and you're going to look for people that need that help. You're looking for the people that you can solve a problem for, or, you know, that solve that pain point or help them out. So make sure that when you're searching around and you're creating content to sell your services or your software, whatever, you are meeting the needs of the people that need a problem. And here's a hint for you. If you ever go to Quora.com, Quora.com, that's where people go and ask questions, literally questions every day. You could create a podcast from questions from Quora. Just find what questions are out there and do a podcast episode on it. So you could be the Quora.com podcaster, answering questions from, whatever topic it is. So that's another great way to get yourself out there. Because podcasting, what it's becoming, it's making you your authority. It's becoming the authority in your space. It's creating goodwill. It's creating camaraderie. And it's great to do that, because this is free for most people. Yes, it is free for most people to just pull down a podcast. I don't know anyone that, who's saying I'm paying for a subscription to a podcast, but it's getting yourself out there. You're becoming the subject matter expert, and you can curate content. You can create content from your book, your blog, or anything else that is written. And that really is a great power of podcasting. Just like audiobooks, podcasting is also great. And interviews, like I said, interview others, so that you get their take on your show, that you get their audience. So there are so many great ways and things that you can do, because podcasting is powerful. And I'm inviting you guys, if you're in the area, to make sure that you sign up. Head over to eventbrite.com. Look for the Podcasting Your Purpose. Are you ready to start a podcast? Do you want to build onto your brand? Are you ready to speak your passion and share your vision with your voice? Then you need to sign up. Join us on Tuesday, the 10th of March at 7 p.m. in Smyrna, Delaware, for the introductory offer of $97. And you know what? For that $97, you're not only going to get 2 hours of jam-packed information that I'm presenting, but you're going to get that Podcasting Your Purpose workbook, which is going to be a living, breathing document in which you can use to share, take notes, refer back to. You're also going to get a scheduled 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with me. So make sure you sign up today. Seats are limited so that you can podcast your purpose. Like Oprah says, you get a podcast, you get a podcast, you get a podcast. I think you should have a podcast. So thank you very much. Today is week 1, first week of March. We're talking about podcasting your purpose and some tips on creating content and curating content. And until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social, because I will see you in cyberspace. And you know what? I'm also on Out and About with Antoinette on Blog Talk Radio. Make sure you find me out there as well. Have a beautifully blessed day. Thank you all for listening into Tech Talk Tuesday, where we come every Tuesday at 2 o'clock to talk all things technology. We can talk about blogging, vlogging, podcasting. We can talk about Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, or the Gram. Whatever the case may be, let me know and we will see if we can get it on Tech Talk Tuesday. Now, if you'd like a topic to talk about on Tech Talk Tuesday, send an email to techtalktuesday@gmail.com. That's right, techtalktuesday@gmail.com. And until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social, because I will see you in cyberspace. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger.